Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today I want to share with you a new watch I recently received courtesy of Duxot. This is the Henri Diver in Maroon Red. A follower asked if I could review a Duxot Henri Diver. I contacted Duxot and asked if it was possible, and they graciously obliged by sending me this. So thank you to Duxot for sponsoring this video. Now, I said I recently received this watch. That's not exactly accurate. I've had this watch now for a couple of weeks, and every time I wanted to get around to reviewing it, I would just pick up the watch and wear it that day, and the next day, and the next day. This was just such an easy watch to wear that I just kept wearing it versus setting it down and then finding the time to review it. So apologies for taking a little long on getting around to this watch. If you're not familiar with Duxot, they're a watch brand under Solar Time Limited. Solar Time has several brands under its umbrella, and every brand has its own identity and story. Cadola, for example, focuses on racing and motorsports-inspired designs. RGMT is very popular with their identity, offering bold, military-inspired designs. We're not talking about a plain black field watch when it comes to RGMT. And there are other brands that include Aviate, Nubeo, Spinnaker, and Thomas Earnshaw, each with their own identity and style. When it comes to Duxot, their story is simple. They're a brand where you could find a quality and affordable homage of a luxury brand, like a one-stop shop for homage watches. Visit AliExpress and it's a river of watches of various designs, brands, and prices. It can be confusing, overwhelming, and how do you know a good brand from a bad brand? Visit Duxot and you have a variety of homage designs made by one brand, Duxot. You're not comparing different AliExpress watch factories for different styles. A diver, chrono, dress, etc., homage. Duxot has it all. And they're great looking watches with a 2-year warranty, so you're safe there too. With Duxot, all of your homage designs are in one place. And with this Henri Diver, you get a lot of Seamaster vibes for not a lot of money. But it's not a one-to-one like some others, and I'll get into that in a minute. But first, let's spend a second on the packaging. Looking at the packaging, we have a printed paper box or printed paper sleeve, a red printed paper box. You have the usual QR coded warranty card. I removed the clasp because I always remove the clasps on these watches, and we'll replace it with an on-the-fly ratcheting clasp, but this is not a bad milled and signed clasp that it comes with. And size to my wrist, I removed a couple links, 4 total. The dimensions on this watch is 41 millimeters across, a 20 millimeter lug, a lug to lug of 47 millimeters with a thickness of 15 millimeters at the top of this slightly domed sapphire crystal. Size to my wrist, this watch weighs 162 grams, but I may have added a gram or two by switching to this on-the-fly ratcheting adjust clasp. Now, as I said before, there's a lot of inspiration taken from Omega and their Seamaster, but this is not a one-to-one like some others might do. Yes, the wavy dial pattern, the hands, and the indices are alike, but this is a Maroon Red. It's unique, and you won't find it from Omega. The date on the Duxot is at 3 o'clock, where with the Swiss, it's either a no-date feature or the date is at the 6. The bezel here shares a similar scalloped edge to it, but it is a ceramic insert. And as you can see, the markers are also completely different, with 15-minute markers versus 10-minute markers like you see in the Swiss. There's also no pip here at 12 o'clock on the Duxot because Duxot chose to lume the entire bezel in a blue while applying a contrasting green to the dial. The case's curves look just as good, and I really like how this watch does not have a horn sticking out of it at 10 o'clock. This is a 200-meter diver, and it doesn't need a manual helium escape. But then again, neither does the 300-meter from Omega. The bracelet may look the same, but it most certainly is not. The Swiss will give you premium finishing, screw pin links, an exceptional clasp with toolless micro adjust, and a diver's extension. The bracelet on the Duxot looks great and it's comfortable, but it uses push pin links, and the clasp is underwhelming. As I showed you before, this is not the original clasp. This is an aftermarket clasp that I added. The original clasp is a pressed top milled scissor, and it's only got 3 positions of micro adjust. It's not great, but I've replaced them anyway with what I prefer, so it doesn't really bother me. To me, replacing a clasp is like replacing a strap. We all have our preferences. The case back, just like the crown, is decorated and it's a screw down. Under the case back is the never sexy, but always dependable Miyota 8215 movement. If you've seen one Miyota 8215, you've seen them all. This watch was running well within specs on my time grapher at plus 9 seconds per day. On wrist, it wears very, very comfortable, and it looks great. I really like the maroon of this dial, and this is why I kept picking it up day after day and putting it on my wrist. It's not an in-your-face red. The light blue tip of the seconds hand and the blue text are nice pops of color. The text reads professional. I may not agree with that, but the print is so small anyway that I barely see what it says, but I could still see the blue. I have to admit, at first I really wasn't into the bracelet, but I think it looks less Omega and more Citizen and Seiko-like. But the more I wore it, the more it grew on me, and the replacement clasp just makes it that much better. At the time of this video, this watch is available for $179, and it's available in 8 colorways. The ice blue is out of stock. When it comes to watches from Solar Time, their watches sell out quickly. And if there's a watch you like, you need to keep checking because they come back in stock all the time. They need to come up with a notify me link where you can enter your email to be notified when an item is back in stock. They don't have that yet, so you need to keep checking. I'm trying to get a close-up of this dial without any reflection so you can kind of see a little bit of that wavy pattern in the dial. It's not bold and in your face, but it is there. And that's it. I'll leave a link in the description to their website where you can explore their entire collection. They do offer a 20% off discount for signing up for their newsletters. But in my experience, that does not apply to watches on sale, and I believe this watch is on sale. That said, check out their Seaside Escape sale for some awesome deals taking place. Their Atlantica and Alicante are really calling my name. The Alicante comes with 3 interchangeable bezel that completely changes the look of the watch. There are a few things that could be improved on the Henri Diver, but overall I like this watch a lot and I kept gravitating towards it as my daily wear. And with the 45 reviews giving it 4.9 out of 5 stars, it seems to be a very popular model for Duxot. Having held this and worn it, I could see why. It really looks great, it wears great, it's a great value, and I'm not going to go through 100 different brands on AliExpress trying to figure out what makes this watch better than that watch. When it comes to affordable homages, what more could you ask for? If you like this video, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications so you know when the next video drops, and lastly, please leave me a comment. If you own a Duxot or thinking about buying one, let me know by dropping me a comment. Thanks as always for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.